So we have breaking news at Degenerate J.
It will not be breaking by the time we get to it. By the time it's uploaded in 2 days.
No, it's going to be stale news in about 2 days. But we just heard a whisper that 20th Century Fox has trademarked a new name, and it's licensed under like gaming software. And this comes from GameSpot, is where I saw the article. But it's called Alien Blackout, is what I see here. And that's going to be
the spin-off to Call of Duty Blackout, right?
Indeed, it's fantastic, yeah. It's in outer space. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be... it was a game that was announced in January that was supposed to be a sequel, and this is the name, is what it sounds like. Alien Blackout is the new name for the Alien sequel to Alien Isolation, and that is as of 8 o'clock on Sunday, November 25th.
So I think it's worth... Did they officially announce it, did you say? There was something in January? What was up with that?
Yeah, that's what I saw here on GameSpot, is they said that it was announced earlier.
Because I don't really remember that. I don't remember like an announcement for this, but it's also it's very possible I could have just missed it.
They said it. I wonder if it was like a private thing that they said. I don't know. I don't know where they have that. I'm sure it was if they said it twice, because it's mentioned a couple times in the article. But yeah, they said there was mentioned earlier there was going to be a sequel. This pretty much just guarantees it, because they've trademarked the name. It's under gaming, so it seems like this is going to be a sequel to it. And I mean, you had mentioned when we were kind of briefly talking about it before that Isolation didn't sell as well. So is this kind of a surprise?
It's a surprise to me. I really didn't expect Isolation to get a follow-up. I love the game. But it did well with some critics. There were critics that really came down on the game for its difficulty, which I understand to some extent, but that didn't really bother most players. That said, that attitude did hurt the game a little bit, like getting some poor reviews from that. And it also just didn't sell well, partially possibly because of like lack of... I don't know if there's like a lack of interest in the Alien franchise at all, but it is an older franchise that's had a lot of stinkers in its games and movies.
Yeah, well, and was Isolation one of the first games that came out on the PS4? Because it came out a while ago, didn't it?
It wasn't one of the first, but it was earlier, yeah. It did come out a while ago. Still looks very well.
It does, yeah, it looks great. And I wonder if that... I doubt that had anything to do with it, because there were still some big sellers when the PS4 first came out. But, I don't know, I'm curious, do you think, like, they'll like, really dial it back on this next one, then, and make it easier? I mean, because if the players liked it, that's what's important, but at the same time, they need to make money. So, I mean, what do they do?
I wouldn't think that they would dial it back personally, just because it was so well received by players. I could be wrong on that, but I wouldn't assume so. However, I would be... It's hard to say. I'm interested to see what it would be about, because the whole thing with Alien Isolation was it was Ripley's daughter from the original movies, kind of going back and encountering the alien and stuff. And they had kind of avoided like whether or not it was canon or not in a lot of the interviews and stuff, as far as like if it was actually canon to the films or not. So it's like I don't really know where they would take it. And like in recent years, Alien's really been about the prequels. It's been like Prometheus and Covenant, and even that's kind of on hold right now.
Do you think then that this game will be linked to a potential movie release at all? Not like it's like the same story, but like they'll kind of match it up with the movie release? Because there hasn't been an Alien movie in a few years at least, right?
The last one was Covenant. I think it was about close to 2 years ago now, or a year and a half. And Ridley Scott had talked about doing another Alien movie like right after that, like starting filming within a year of that film ending and hitting theaters, and it just didn't happen. And part of it was probably because that movie didn't really have good returns. It should have. Like, Prometheus did pretty well. But it was very clear that he was trying to strike a balance between the Prometheus tone and the tone of other movies in the franchise, and it just kind of... It came off bad to some fans. Like, there were fans of Prometheus who didn't like that he compromised the Prometheus vision to, like, go back towards Alien, like the original one. And there were fans of Alien who didn't like that it still had, like, hints of Prometheus in it. So, by appealing to multiple fans, he appealed to no one in some ways. I really like Covenant. I understand some people don't, which is fine. But I like it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
And it got mixed reviews, so it wasn't like it was just a critically bashed film. You know, it was just kind of mixed.
Yes, exactly. And it could have been a lot worse, whether you like it or not, because Alien 3 and Resurrection, in my opinion, are pretty bad. Both of them. I am not a fan of either. I think Resurrection is like the less garbage out of two garbage movies, but that was by Joss Whedon, by the way.
It was. The Avengers guy.
Yes. He worked heavily on that.
Interesting.
Not a fan.
No. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we obviously don't have a lot of information on Blackout. We literally just got wind of the name. So, I mean, we... Unless it's a Fortnite copycat with Alien.
I just got murdered.
That's so... unless it's a Battle Royale game, we really have no idea what's going to happen with it. So it'll be cool to see how it develops and, like, what they say. Because if it's just in, like, the naming process, obviously there's a lot of work to do.
Was that a joke?
Well,
the Battle Royale?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I don't think it's going to be a Battle Royale.
I really hope it's a Battle Royale.
I don't at all.
No, yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I mean, you know a lot more about it than I do, but it is kind of cool to see that they're still trying to keep it going.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried about it, partially because Disney acquired 21st Century Fox now, which is another part of why Alien is up in the air as far as a franchise, like whether or not it'll get more movies or not. Disney has so much stuff that's more profitable than Alien that it's like, is it worth their time to really mess with?
Right.
That's kind of the issue with like a company that owns Star Wars and the Marvel Universe. Like... do they even want to mess with it? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm interested in it if they do, especially if it's anything like Alien Isolation, quality-wise, but I'm kind of skeptical on it. I mean, every single few months, like, a new rumor about Alien comes up, too. At least this is actually trademarked. But, you know, like, a couple days ago, I think also there was talk about, like, a possible Alien TV show. And at a certain point, it almost just seems more like it's... trying to it's like the fans just trying to get something going, you know, because they're like waiting and kind of excited for like anything,
right?
Kind of like the Harry Potter fandom, like in that time between like the end of the movies and like, you know, I was gonna say Desperate Beasts well, you know what I mean,
and their housewives.
But you know, it's like at a certain point they're just hungry for new content, and it's hard to say if that'll happen or not. I hope so, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. We hope you found this interesting. What would you like to see in another Alien game? Or film? Film, too, because I would kind of like to see the end of Ridley Scott's prequel trilogy, at least, just to kind of see where it goes and get an end to that narrative, but not everybody cares about it, so let us know, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.